Hello again, everybody. Zagatek is here with my Atakline for Monday, July 29th, 2013. Hope everybody had a great weekend this weekend. Well, I did. Kind of. I did. I had only one gig on Saturday, but I had some on Friday. On Friday, I went to Fundare for a improv comedy show. I had a voucher for 2 tickets to a show at the Gold Comedy Improv Theater, and it's in Fundale, Michigan. It's on 9 Mile in Fundale. And if you want a night out, different from a concert or going to a bar, in something classy and have a guaranteed night out of great laughs, go to Fundale. Go to Gold Comedy Improv Theater. They were excellent. Went to their Gold Comedy All-Star Showdown, which I have a flyer here for the show. It was a Friday night show, 10 o'clock. And I'm a huge Who's Line fan. Now, get to Who's Line in a moment about Who's Line getting renewed for season 2. My thoughts on that. You know, the revamp Who's Line, but I've seen all the Who's Line guys in concert, most of them. Like Colin Mockley, Brad Sherwood, Wayne Brady, all them guys. But I've never seen, amateur improvers from local Michigan. And this is the closest thing to Who's Line to me. This Go Comedy All-Star Showdown. It's a game show. It's an improv game show, kind of in the style of Who's Line. We have 2 teams competing for points, and the most points win. The points do matter. And I like the activity of the show. They had slips of paper at each table for the audience to fill out the names, which a team could play for them. Because if you're on the winning team, and one of the winning team members picks you as their player they're playing for, you get a prize, which is free tickets. And also, like, suggestions for the show, like lines, like Who's Line, like random lines you can insert in, and suggestions for settings or film styles. And it was an excellent, excellent show to watch these guys do their improv stuff. It was, like I said, the closest thing was like they had fake commercial breaks. It was a great night. My mouth was hurting by the time. It was like 3 rounds of counting. By the time we got to the first round of this show, my mouth was already hurting. It is probably one of the best comedy shows I've been to. I've been to stand-up shows and improv shows. It's probably one of the best experiences because of the intimacy of this venue, the interactive fun of this show. And like I said, I'm probably going to go back to this improv when I'm not busy. So if you want a great night out, my advice is Go Comedy Improv Theater. Great night out and guarantee laughs every time. And they have shows every week. So if you want to check it out, if you live in the Michigan area and want to go to this show in Fundale, check out the site, gocomedy.net. Check it out. That's my advice to you. Alright, now on to the other day of this weekend. Gig, Saturday. Like I said, the gig. It was a surprise 80th birthday party for this woman named Lorraine Moellen, who is the mother-in-law of one of my best customers, Mary Moellen, aka her husband Kevin's mother. And it was held at Sterling Lanes. They had a banquet hall at Sterling Lanes. And it was a good show, really good. It wasn't a dancey show because the majority of the crowd was old people, but about 80% was over 60. Not a lot of young people, not a lot of kids were there, not a lot of teenagers. It was more like a family show. It was a family get-together. That's what it was. It wasn't a drunken-ass dance party like typical Mary Moellen shows. It was just a laid-back vibe like it was at the grad party last week. And they liked the older music. The best part of the show was they did dance a little. They did request Cupid and Hustle. That was the only thing they danced to. And that was it. Because there was line dances. And the best part of the show besides that was when they decided to do karaoke, surrounding the entire dance floor, dancing and singing karaoke to Lorraine, New York, New York by Frank Sinatra. One of her favorite songs. And the crowd just loved it. It was like the best, the most packed I saw the dance floor. So it was a great Saturday night, great Friday night for me. Going to the Go Comedy Improv show and the gig on Saturday. I got 3 gigs coming up this weekend. On Friday the 2nd, I got a wedding for my cousin Matt, who's getting married to his longtime sweetheart Natalie, held at the Greystone Golf Course in Romeo. And then Saturday, I got a doubleheader. Morning show, Credit to the Hospital event at Stony Creek. And then I'm returning to my favorite pub, my only pub I DJ for Saturday night, Jefferson Street Pub. Can't wait for that. Now, let's kick off the entertainment news portion of the show with your number one movie. Now, last week's number one movie was The Conjuring. Unfortunately, The Conjuring got beat by the Wolverine X-Men prequel. Although it debuted big with 53 million, it was low in comparisons to the X-Men movies prior to it. Like I said, it was still a big opening, but not as big as, like I said, as many other X-Men movies have in the past. It was only major debut of the week as the to-do list failed at the box office. It was probably in select theaters. Of course, The Smurfs 2 heads out in theaters this Friday, and after seeing what The Smurfs 1 did 2 years ago, and seeing that animated movies like Monsters Inc. and Despicable Me 2 dominate the box office for the early half of the summer, we'll see if Smurfs 2 can be number one, which is probably going to happen. So there you go. Speaking of movies and sequels, on the news, on the eagerly awaited and despised by many, Star Wars Episode 7. Now, of course, little much has been said about Star Wars Episode 7 about if any old characters are coming back, if anyone's making cameos or not, and what the story is. Because the premise of the new movie is tight-lipped. But there's one element of Star Wars that would be disappointing if it wasn't a part. Of course, the music, the score being done by legendary composer who has done basically every Star Wars movie. And it cannot be a Star Wars movie without the score and the music of John Williams. Yes, John Williams is the man. Because John Williams, like I said, composed every single Star Wars movie, including the original score that, of course, everybody, including me, hums to this day. Do do do. Sorry for my bad humming, but I had to do it because hey, you cannot help but hum it when you think of that Star Wars main theme. Like I said, done by John Williams. So they made it official at a Star Wars event in Europe that John Williams is confirmed. Like there's been rumors that he was gonna do it because, like I said, you cannot have it. It feels on Star Wars like if you don't have the music score by John Williams, who is like iconic with Star Wars. You know, I know he's done other scores where he's at least as iconic for as Star Wars, like the Indiana Jones song score, Superman movies. You know, those two movies scores. He's about as famous for as Star Wars, but probably more famous for Star Wars because it's a more cult-like fan base. Even if Superman and Indy's got as big of a fan base, but so excited to hear that John Williams will be included as the score because Disney wants to make sure, even though George Lucas won't have a part in working on the film, they want to make it as classic as the original Star Wars as possible. Like I said, including John Williams doing the score. So there you go, John Williams officially doing the score for Star Wars Episode 7. Still no premise, but we'll see what premise it is soon enough. Now, other news on Lady Gaga. Now, on Thursday's Atakline, since I saw the views, no one's watched it, but I'll say it anyway. On Thursday's Atakline, I mentioned, of course, Lady Gaga is set to return to the VMA stage on August 25th to debut her new single from her new album, Art Pop. Now, there wasn't a name for the single yet. Now it's official. In a new interview given to Women's Wear Daily, Lady Gaga revealed the single name and the cover art for the single, now named and rumored. I said it was rumored on the Atakline on Thursday. And now it's official. The new single is called Applause. Weird song title, but I'll see if it's dancey like every other Gaga song. And the cover is just as weird as the name. With this picture of Gaga on top of a paint canvas made up. And like face paint here. I'm going to try to zoom in here. On my... Try to zoom in here. Here's the cover of the... I know you can't see it that well, but it's a cover of the Applause single with cover GaGa on top of a painting canvas with face paint all over like blue and white. And it's like a weird photo, but it's kind of interesting. It's GaGa. It's typical GaGa. And not only did GaGa talk about the new single in the interview, GaGa talked about her ordeal in the last 6 months being sidelined with her hip injury, which could have been more severe. GaGa said in an interview about her hip surgery, she said, "My injury was actually a lot worse than just a labral tear. I had literally broken my hip. Nobody knew, and I haven't told the fans yet, that her hip injury was more severe than anyone thought it. She really broke her hip. But when we got the MRIs finished, before I went to surgery, there were giant graters, a hole in my hip the size of a quarter, and the cartilage was just hanging on the other side of my hip. I had a tear on the inside of my joint and a huge breakage. The surgeon told me that if I had done another show, I might have had a full hip replacement. I would have been out for at least a year, so it could have been a lot worse than it was. Like I've got a broken hip, indeed, and if she would have carried on, she would have been out longer than she was with the injury. But she's ready. She's back, and she took the time off, 6 months off, to basically focus on work on the album, Art Pop. And she is ready to go. She's back up at full strength. She shot the video already for applause, which she co-wrote with DJ White Shadow, who she's collaborated for years. And GaGa's ready for the VMAs in August. That she's ready, that she's prepared to perform live on the 25th. So can't wait to see the new GaGa song, I said. So here we go. Lady Gaga announces officially the single Applause coming out on August 19th, performing at the VMAs, and the album, which was set for pre-order in September, will now be accepting pre-orders for the album on August 19th, because they're probably going to do like I think they do with other albums on iTunes. You pre-order the album on iTunes, and you get Applause for free. That's what they're probably going to do with pre-orders for Art Pop. App pre-orders may be same day too, but we'll see about that. From one lady to another, on the news, another lady. Lady A. Lady Antebellum. Now, last Monday, Hillary Scott had her baby. The same day as the Warrior baby, called Baby Isley. And not even a week after Hillary had her baby, Lady A is heading back on the road. Now, last night, Lady A posted a little video of them singing on the road again, along with Casey Musgraves and Kip Moore, with the video ending with today's date, 7/2/9. And it was, of course, clues were planted with that video, and it's official. Lady A is going back on the road, like I said, with Kip Moore and Casey Musgraves as opener on the Take Me Downtown tour. Now, I thought it was going to be called just the Golden Tour, but it's just going to be called Take Me Downtown, named after their top hit single from the album. The only hit from Golden Dust Bowl, because I'm not making a Goodbye Town. The tour will start in November now. They only announced 17 dates on this first leg of the tour, which basically covers the Midwestern area, kicking off on November 8th in Mississippi, the only southern show. They're not doing... there is no Detroit area show right now. They're only doing a show in Grand Rapids on November 5th. I mean, on November... It is November 5th. The tour kick off actually November 1st. Oh, no, no, November... Yeah, kick off November 8th. It'll be November 12th in Grand Rapids. That's the only day in Michigan right now. There's a couple dates in Ohio, in Missouri. But like I said, there's no southern dates or northeast dates, no New York dates or Pennsylvania dates, New Jersey dates. That's probably what I'm thinking is going to be the next leg, which will be next year. They're going on a 2-month winter tour, November, December. I call it the warm-up leg of the tour. And then they're going to come back with the second leg of the tour in January and go on a bigger leg. Because they're saying they're going to go on 40 dates altogether. But like I said, they only announced 17. So that means more dates to be announced. Tickets are set to go on sale in September for all dates. So There you go. Lady Antebellum, 1 week after Hillary's baby birth, announces their tour dates. Promoting Golden, the Take Me Downtown tour, with Kit Moore and Casey Musgraves opening. Now, speaking of country artists on tour, with news on a country artist currently on tour. Some may not call her country anymore, but in many people's minds, she's still considered country. Of course, I'm talking about Taylor Swift, in the middle of the Red Tour. Now, on a Red Tour, on select dates, Taylor's been surprising people by pulling out surprise guests to perform songs with. She's had Patrick Stump from Fall Out Boy, Pat from Train, the guy from Neon Trees, and many others. Nelly as well. But during her shows in Boston over the weekend at Foxborough Stadium, Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Taylor pulled out a famous artist from Massachusetts, Carly Simon. Now, Taylor Swift performed with Carly's ex, James Taylor, on the Speak Now tour, so it makes sense that Carly Simon would perform with Taylor to a song that speaks to Taylor a lot about many of her ex, but not just many, but probably all of her ex-boyfriends. You're so vain. Because Taylor Swift released a video after the show saying it was an honor to perform with Carly, especially since she said when she first heard You're So Vain, she thought it was like one of the greatest songs ever because it basically described her her style of relationships with her many ex-boyfriends. The video's on YouTube. It's all over. And I think Taylor, give her a lot of slack for lack of... I think she did okay with You're So Vain. She did it pretty decently with Carly. I'm a huge Carly Simon fan. I've been a fan of Carly since I was like 5 or 6. You know, been liking her material, so I was kind of happy to see. And I've seen Taylor Swift. I don't want to see Carly if she gets rid of her stage fright, which probably won't happen anytime soon. But it was nice to see Carly up there singing with Taylor. At least Taylor's, despite many people giving her slack, at least Taylor's got some respect for people like Carly. And respect for an older generation of music. Because Carly kind of is like many people do consider Taylor the new Carly, because Taylor writes all these heartbreaking songs like Carly did. So there you go. Taylor Swift and Carly Simon. A match made in, well, whatever you want to describe it. As Carly made a surprise appearance, like I said, to perform with Taylor over the weekend at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Now, on with some TV news. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, when I was talking about the Improv show, I got some news on Whose Line Is It Anyway? Now, it's only been back for 2 weeks. And it's only been renewed for Season 2. Yes, the We Fame of Whose Line is renewed for Season 2. It was made official today at a event for the CW, saying that the CW network released a statement saying that it's clear that viewers are as excited to have Whose Line back as we are. We have been wanting to bring comedy back to the CW for a long time. And Aisha, Rain, Colin, and Ryan have brought funny back to the network in a big way. We're very excited to have them back for a second season. Now I hope the second season brings 2 things. 1, bring back recognizable 4th-seaters. Now, as we've seen in this season thus far, we've seen new 4th-seaters, like people who weren't on the original one of Whose Line. People like Naima Funk from Round Out, Jonathan Magnum, who's going to be on tonight, or tomorrow night. And now, the only recognizable 4th-seater that was on the original one of Whose Line was Jeff Davis, who wasn't on as many episodes back in the day, but hey, he's a recognizable face. So hopefully with Season 2, we get more recognizable regular 4th-seaters like Greg Proops, Chip Eston, and Brad Sherwood. Hopefully those 3 can make returns as part of Season 2. And hopefully they can finally talk Drew to hosting again. Now that they're back for Season 2, maybe Drew can finally make a fucking appearance too. And I like the celebrity guest, but don't do a celebrity guest every fucking episode. Like every episode, you have to have a celebrity guest. Come on, man. I like the guest, but not every fucking episode. That's all I gotta do. Limit the celebrity guest to maybe 2 episodes. Not every episode like they've been doing this season. So, fix a few things. But, besides those little things, and Aisha Tyler, Whose Line, nice to have it back. Great to have it back. So, can't wait to see Season 2 whenever it airs. So, there you go. And, of course, the current season of This revamp of Who's Line continues tomorrow at 8 on CW with back-to-back episodes with Jennifer Magnum and Jeff Davis. Now, before we get to my Wall preview for tonight, get the news on TNA. Now, TNA website revealed a video, a very cryptic video, about someone making an appearance or making some sort of statement on the August 1st Impact with the August 1st warning. Now, what happens when there's a promo? They speculate. Speculates about John Morrison, many former WWE names, and there's no one on who's the warning about. I mean, maybe a former Guncheck winner coming back. But hopefully it's not another, like TNA hypes it up, and it's like disappointment. So, and it might be. So we'll see what kind of warning is delivered on the August 1st Impact, which will feature Chris Sabin defending the World title against the X Division champion, Manic. Now, on with our Raw preview for tonight. And our top questions, I think it's going to be top 5, that must be answered this evening. There are some matches that Brad Maddox made, and that's actually the top 4. And Raw was taped this week because of the touring schedule. Question number 4 is, what kind of impact will the matches that Brad Maddox made make on Raw tonight? Now, Brad Maddox made about other matches tonight, including 2 main event matches, which I will describe when we get to question number 1 of our top 5, or in this case, top 4 questions that must be answered this evening. But we'll see the other matches that Brad Maddox made. Like I said, even though Raw, like I said, was taped, not live this week because of their tours in Australia and Africa. And we'll see what matches he made, and what matches he will make, and what kind of impact he will make, especially when we head towards SummerSlam coming up in just a few weeks. Speaking of SummerSlam, on with question number 2. Before I get to question number 3, I think the matches that trying to see what kind of matches Brad Maddox made for this evening, but can't get it out right now. But till then, I'll just move on, like I said, to question number 3. Will any other matches be made for SummerSlam tonight? Now, we all know John Cena against Daniel Bryan, and now it's also official, CM Punk against Brock Lesnar. I'm also hearing rumors that Christian will get a title shot against Alberto Del Rio for the world title. I know people make fun of Christian, but I think Christian deserves another shot at the championship, and hopefully he holds the title more than a day unless they have Damian Sandow cashing on him. I'll be as pissed if Sandow cashes on Christian if he wins, as I'll be pissed if Randy Orton cashes in on Daniel Bryan if he wins at SummerSlam. And we may also get official word about the match between Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston. That's inevitable. And other matches that might be inevitable, including possibly Sandow against Cody for the Money in the Bank briefcase. So, there you go. Now, back to question 4 for a moment. Matches that Brad Maddox made tonight, I'm hearing, is Fandango against Rob Van Dam. That should be very interesting, seeing that match go down. An athletic athlete and a non-athletic athlete called Rob Van Dam. That's all I gotta say. And Caitlyn gets another rematch against AJ? Oh boy. And I heard Total Divas did big success in the ratings. That's sad to hear. I didn't watch Total Divas. I hope no one else did, but apparently they did. Because I heard E said it was the biggest ratings since the Kardashians. That's sad. That's sad that more people watch Total Divas than TNA. Okay. Question number 2. Will something go down between CM Punk and Brock Lesnar this evening? Now, Brock Lesnar was on Raw last week. He was so-called via satellite with Paul Heyman. And Heyman via satellite did accept the match between CM Punk and Brock Lesnar for SummerSlam. So, will Lesnar be there to attack Punk to add more fuel to the fire? We'll see what happens with them tonight if any confrontation does happen. And question number 1. What will go down in the matches involving John Cena and Daniel Bryan? Of course, both guys have matches tonight. They both have mutual respect for each other. Of course, Cena saved Daniel Bryan after the gauntlet match last week, which was an excellent gauntlet, especially in the match between Daniel Bryan and Cesaro was awesome. Now tonight, both Cena and D. Bryan has matches. We got Cena taking on Ryback in a tables match tonight. We knew of that feud, huh? Stupid. And Daniel Bryan taking on his former Hell No teammate, Kane. See what fireworks come out of that match. I bet you something will happen between one of those two matches. Either Cena will get involved in Daniel's match, or Daniel will get involved in Cena's match. See what happens on this wall at 8/7 Central on USA Network. You can watch it or read the spoilers. I didn't, so I'll watch it. And I'll still make my review tonight. And I'll see you later on tonight for that review. And with that in mind, you've all been attacked by the news from Zach. Thank you all very much for watching. See you all, like I said, see you all later. Yeah.